Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada. Om Shri Mahaganapataye Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Asmat Gurubhyo Namaha. Shruti Smriti Purahananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavad Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Bhadarayanam Sutra Bhashya Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishwaro Guru Ratmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Medha Dakshinamurti Swamine Namaha. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Satchidananda Rupaya Krishnaya Klishtakarine Namo Vedanta Vedhyaya Gurave Buddhi Sakshine Krishna Dvaipayanam Vyasam Sarvalokahite Ratam Vedabja Bhaskaram Vande Samadhi Nilayam Munim Sahasramurte Purushottamasya Sahasranetranana Padabaho Sahasranamam Stavanam Prashastam Niruchyate Janma Jaradishantyaihi. So, Namaste once again, everyone.
Namaste, Guruji.
Eko naikah savah kakim yattat padamanuttamam Loka Bandhur Lokanatho Madhavo Bhaktavatsalaha. So this is the sloka of which we are seeing the meaning. And the last class we saw the Nama Ekaha. Bhagavan is one without a second. Adi Shankara said, Swajatiya Vijatiya Swagata Vedaha Rahitam. So there is only one without any differentiation. That is the Nama Visa. So that is what is actually here. It is to, the reference is to Brahman. The Satchidananda Swarupa Brahman is the reference here. Ekaha. Then Na Ekaha, Naikaha. The one who is not one. Now, what does it mean? Just now you said Ekaha. Now you are saying Na Ekaha. So we have to understand. And Adi Shankara helps us. Mayaya Bahurupatvat Naikaha. Indro Maya Bihi Pururupa Iyate. This is Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Iti Shrutehe. So, even though essentially he is Eka, at the same time, he is Naika also. That is Na Eka. Not one, but many. How is that? In Vyavahara, in our transactions, in our worldly experience, he appears in many forms by his power of Maya. The one becomes many. The manyness, we must remember, is not the essential attribute of Ishvara. The manyness that we experience is only an incidental attribute. I mean, the classic example given in the Shastra is of clay and the pottery. So the oneness is like clay. Clay has got different manifestations, incidental attributes, potness, cupness, plateness, mugness, all these are incidental attributes of the clay. But clay is essentially free from all these attributes. Clay is only one. Pot is not part of the clay. It is the clay which, as though, exists in the form of pots, cups, etc. But the reality, the truth behind all pottery means I'm referring to what I can say, pots, etc., made out of clay. So the clay is only one. These are all manifestations of that clay in different forms. Similarly, Bhagavan is essentially one, but from the standpoint of our own experience, name and form, he is na eka, naika, as though many. This as though is a very important thing to understand. It is not actually getting converted into many, but appears as many because of Maya Shakti. That's why even Rama Avatara, Krishna Avatara are all appearances. They are avatars. And they are all because of Bhagavan's Maya Shakti, they all have appeared on this earth. So that is the meaning of Naikaha. Savaha. The one in the form of the ritual Sava. Somo yatra bhi suyate so saha advaraha savaha. Sava is a ritual. It's a Vedic ritual where soma juice is offered as the sacrifice. So we have already seen, Brahmarpanam, Brahma Avihi and all that. Similarly here, Bhagavan is in the form of that Sava ritual. And by performing this ritual, one goes to heaven. That is what the Vedas say. And experiences heavenly sukha, happiness of the heavens, which is, as compared to the happiness on the earth, is supposed to be very long-lasting happiness. And that sukha, which is gained, is also Bhagavan. So Sava is Bhagavan. Experiencing the sukha by going to heaven is also Bhagavan. No, everything is Bhagavan. That's how we have to understand. So Bhagavan is here called Sava. Kaha. Kaha means the one who is happiness. Because this word kaha in Sanskrit has also got a meaning who, masculine. But that's not the meaning it has to be taken here. Adi Shankara says, Kashabdaha sukhavachakaha tena suyate iti kaha kam brahma. He quotes from Chandogya Upanishad, kam brahma iti shrutehe. So the word ka means sukha, happiness. Just now we saw Sava is Bhagavan, and also happiness going to heaven is Bhagavan. That happiness is referred to here as Kaha. So Chandogya Upanishad praises Bhagavan as Kam Brahma. Kam Brahma means happiness is Brahman. So whether one gains happiness in this world through various means, or in heaven by means of rituals like Sava, that happiness is Brahman alone. Because there can be no happiness in this entire prapancha without Brahman. Because he is Ananda Swarupa. So any happiness that we experience is all happiness coming from Brahman alone, Bhagavan alone. And this is not only Chandogya Upanishad, other places also. The Shrutis praise him as Raso Vaisaha, Anandam Brahma. As I said, because he is Ananda Swarupa, any happiness, the moment we are happy, we must immediately bring to our mind Bhagavan's vision. And envision Bhagavan. Thank him for the happiness that he gives us. Then Kim. Kim means the one who is to be inquired into. Sarva Purushartha Rupatvat Brahmaiha Vicharyam iti Brahma Kim. The flip side is the question, the inquiry into who am I. So, Brahman alone is in the form of all Purusharthas, all pursuits. Because all pursuits, as I have been saying earlier also, throughout our life, life after life, we must always remember that this life we have got, that we are living, is only one stage of our entire life as a jiva. And in different lives, whether they are past lives or in future lives, we will be undertaking a lot of pursuits in terms of the Purusharthas, Dharma, Artha, Kama. And the journey is towards moksha alone. So all these pursuits, which are also pursuits, are also called Purusharthas. The goal is also called Purushartha. The word Purushartha has got both the meanings in the language. So all these pursuits ultimately end in Brahman alone. Therefore, this Brahman becomes Vicharya, to be inquired into as what that Kim Brahma, what is that Brahman? And then the moment we ask this question, what is that Brahman? Immediately a Mahavakya springs our mind, Aham Brahmasmi, I am that Brahman. Then the focus comes to me. So if I am Brahman, what is me? Who am I? What is this self? So that which is to be inquired into is Brahman. The one who is inquiring also is Brahman. And the process of inquiry is also Brahman. And in fact, Bhagavad Gita, the 8th chapter, Arjuna asked this question to Bhagavan Krishna, Kim Tad Brahma? And I think the Kim has been taken from, in Bhagavad Gita, it has been taken from Chandogya Upanishad. In fact, I think Taittiriya Upanishad says, Tapasa Brahma Vijignyasasva Tapo Brahmeti. Brahman needs to be inquired into through tapas. Vijignyasasva, it's to be known. May you know Brahman through tapas. Because the very tapas also is Brahman only. Inquiry is Brahman. Hence, may you inquire into Brahman. Vijignyasasva. This is Kim. Then Yat. Yat means that which is already existed. That which we say, no, Yat. Yat shabdena swatah siddha vastu uddesha vachina brahma nirdishyate iti brahma yat. So this entire this sloka is focusing on the swarupa of Brahman, the reality behind what we call Bhagavan or Ishvara, the only reality. So when enquiry is done, Kim Brahma, we get Yat Brahma. Yat Brahma, Yat actually is a pronoun in the language. It always goes with Tat. Yat Brahma Tat Twamasi. That's how we have to connect. That Tat actually is the reply for Yat. So Kim Brahma we start. Yat Brahma Tat Twamasi. That which is called Brahman is verily you. That is Chandogya Upanishad. So Yat means that which and denotes an already existent object. In fact, Taittiriya Upanishad says, Yato va imani bhutani jayante yena jatani jivante yat prayanti abhisham vishanti tat vijignyasasva tad brahmeti. Yato va imani bhutani jayante. That from which all these entire prapancha of beings, bhutani here means beings, jayante, they have come, they are born. Yena jatani jivanti, by which everything is sustained. Yat prayanti abhisamvishanti, unto which everything goes back. Tat vijignyasasve, may you know that to be Brahman, Tat Brahmeti. And this description of Brahman actually creates a little confusion. Because we have studied or we know that Brahman is formless, number one. Number two, Brahman doesn't have any parts, he is also akarta, does not do anything. So if Brahman is formless and Brahman does not do anything, then what is that these Upanishads are talking about, that everything is born from Brahman, sustained by Brahman, unto which everything goes back? Therefore, we have to understand, and this is where, we go little deep into Vedanta, Nyaya Shastra. There are two types of descriptions we find. One is called Swarupa Lakshana, which describes the nature of anything. And this is not only with reference to Brahman. Anything we can, apply this. Swarupa Lakshana and Tatastha Lakshana. Swarupa Lakshana is the original characteristics, the very nature of a thing. And Tatastha Lakshana is the marginal characteristics of a thing. So here, when the Upanishad is saying, Yato va imani bhutani jayante, etc., that is describing the marginal characteristics of Brahman, explaining the Tatastha Lakshana of Brahman. So, Tatastha Lakshana is a definition of an object through a property which is not intrinsic to the object, but still by which an object can be denoted and understood. Whereas a Swarupa Lakshana defines an object through its intrinsic property. So from a Tatastha Lakshana point of view, Brahman is defined as the cause of creation, sustenance and resolution of this world. And the Swarupa Lakshana of Brahman is what? Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. This we have to understand very carefully, because if we don't understand all these technical issues, we will always be confusing that it is as if we, on the one hand, we say Brahman doesn't do anything. On the other hand, we are saying that Brahman is responsible for the entire creation. He creates, sustains, and then he also resolves this entire prapancha. That will be confusing, and we will be questioning ourselves which one we should be. Is it Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, or we have to take that creation, sustenance and resolution definition of Brahma. So both these will fit if we understand as one as Tatastha Lakshana and another as Swarupa Lakshana. They're all technical issues. When we study Vedanta, we come across all these things. Similarly, Vachyartha and Lakshyartha are there. And in fact, if we carefully observe, all these things we actually use in our day-to-day conversation with people, in our day-to-day transaction. But we don't realize that this is what it is. So, just to give you one more example, the clay example. If one wants to know what is clay, somebody does not know what clay is at all. He wants to know what is clay. So one can define it as that from which all the pots have come. Clay is the one from which the pots have come. Clay is that by which all the pots are sustained. And once the pots are destroyed, they go back into clay form. This is the example of Tatastha Lakshana of clay. But we know that clay as it is, original form, does not intrinsically have potness or jarness or cupness or lidness or plateness. But we can say that which has got potness is clay, referring to a pot. Or referring to a lid made of clay, we can say that which has got lidness is clay. So all these are attributes of clay. Without clay, these attributes cannot exist. But clay's existence is not dependent on these attributes. These attributes are in clay, but clay is not in these attributes. Therefore, when it is said that Kam Brahma, and it is said Anandam Brahma, that is referring to the Swarupa Lakshana of Brahma. Therefore, when the question arises, Kim Brahma, what is Brahman? The answer is given through Yat. That which, what is that? That is the next Nama, Tat. That which pervades. Tanoti iti Brahma Tat, says Adi Shankara. From which everything has come, by which everything is sustained, and unto which everything goes back. That which is in the form of limitless Ananda. Tat Brahma, that is Brahman. So as I said, the word Tat is a pronoun meaning that. And that can refer to anything. As I said, pronouns in Sanskrit. But suppose what example I can give you? Kim Pustakam. Suppose somebody say Kim Pustakam. I say Yat. What should I say? Yat Vishnu Sahasranamam Kim iti Pustakam. Okay, what is this book? Yat Vishnu Sahasranamam Adi Shankara Bhashyam Tat Pustakam. So the Yat and Tat are used in this form in the language. But when the Tat is does not refer to anything at all, when there is no reference mentioned, that Tat indicates only Param Brahma, the cause of everything. As the Tat in the sentence, Tattvamasi. So that Brahman is called Tat because Tanoti. Tanoti means pervades. It alone has spread itself, manifested itself as this world, pervades everything. 17th chapter Gita says, Om Tat Sat Iti Nirdesha Brahmanas Trividas Smritaha. These three words, Om, Tat, and Sat, are expressions used to indicate Brahman, says Bhagavan Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. So that is Tat Brahman. Tat means here Brahman, referring to Brahman. Then Padam Anuttamam. Anuttamam, ultimate abode. Padam. Padam Anuttamam means the ultimate abode. Padyate Gamyate Mumukshubhihi iti Padam. Yasmat Utkrishnam Nasti Tad Anuttamam. Savisheshanam Ekam Nama Padam Anuttamam iti. So actually there are two words here. Padam is there, Anuttamam is there. But Padam Anuttamam is one name. The word Anuttamam is an adjective to the word Padam. And Padam means what? Paramam Padam, the final, ultimate abode, ultimate end, ultimate goal. Pada is that which is attained by those who desire moksha. And this Pada is beyond whom there is nothing but Uttama, equal or greater than this. Because there is nothing else which is Anuttama. So all accomplishments, whether it is Dharma accomplishment, Artha accomplishment or Kama accomplishment, all are included in this one end, which is moksha. But that is not understood by people. And only when, after gaining that end, one can say, I have accomplished everything, there is nothing else to be gained or done. Therefore, Bhagavan is that ultimate end to be gained, and it is gained in terms of knowledge of oneself. It is not gained by meditation. It is not gained by stilling the mind or by removing the thoughts. As even the waves and all, the big waves and everything is there, we don't miss the ocean, isn't it? What are these waves, bubbles, froth, breakers, so whatever name you give, they are all nothing but a form of that water, form of in that ocean. They are born out of the water, they are sustained by water, and they go back into the water. So when we are interacting in this entire world with different waves and names and forms, so many thoughts are occurring in our mind, we must not miss the Bhagavan in the as the all-pervading entity. If we just recall the ocean example, all these namas will become very, very clear to us. So he is Padamanuttamam. Then Loka Bandhuhu. Bandhuhu means a well-wisher. Loka Bandhuhu means a well-wisher of the world. For which Adi Shankara gives a little involved explanation. Adhara bhutesmin sakala loka badhyante iti loka bandhuhu. Lokanam janakatvat janaka upamo bandhuhu nasti iti va. Lokanam bandhukrityam hita hitopadesham shruti smriti lakshanam kritavan iti va loka bandhuhu. Adhara bhutesmin. He is the Adhara, the basic support, the foundation, the Adhishthanam, in which all the worlds are tied down, and hence he is Loka Bandhu. Sakala Loka Badhyante. Bandhanam means tying. So, first meaning he says he is the basic support in which all the worlds are tied down, and hence he is Loka Bandhu. Again, the word Bandhu has got a meaning relatives. So, among the Bandhus, the relatives, who is the best relative? One's parents, isn't it? Because whether anybody else wishes well for the child or not, the parents always wish what is best for the child. They actually sacrifice their life for that purpose. Whether the child reciprocates it or not, they are not bothered. While giving the best to the child, parents never even think, oh, I am doing all this. Later on, he will grow up and he will repay all these things. That thought never comes in the mind of the parents. It is a different matter that if the child turns out to be someone who is thankless, who does not have any gratitude for what he receives, not only from the parents, such personalities will not have any gratitude for anything, to anybody. They are all drowned in their own arrogance. So here, the Lord being Janaka, the parent of all these worlds, as just now we saw, of all the beings in this world, Yato va imani bhutani jayante, he is the real Loka Bandhu, the well-wisher. Because there cannot be anyone who can care more about our welfare. And even when our parents wish well, sometimes their wishes may not actually be beneficial. At least to our mind, it may appear. Because parents do not know well, or everything. They are not all knowing. They have got good intentions, they wish well, but sometimes those wishes may not turn out to be beneficial to us. But the Lord being all-knowing, Sarvajna, He is Nitya Anukulakari, always a well-wisher. Because the Lord knows what is good for us, what is beneficial for us. And as a karma phala data, He gives on, doles out, all our results of karma. And that also He does from the attitude of being beneficial to us. Because even though when we actually experience some of the karmas, we may be having a lot of problems, or maybe we feel uncomfortable. But the Lord knows that once I give this karma and He experiences it, that karma is taken out of His account. And also, if that person happens to be having some viveka, some discrimination, he will understand that this, what I am undergoing, the suffering I am undergoing, is a result of my own papa karma in the previous lives, or whenever it is, even in this life. And therefore, I must be careful to avoid all papa karmas, and I must focus only on those dharmic karmas which will get me punyam. So that in my future births at least, or even in this birth for the remaining time, I don't suffer what I have suffered. So the Lord keeping all this in mind becomes Nitya Anukulakari, always our well-wisher. It's just like, the parents sometimes, they will punish the child. If the child does not study or does something wrong, I will not give you this, or today you won't get dinner. Something like that, punishing the child. Why do they do it? They don't do it with the intention of actually troubling and putting some, making the child undergo some pain deliberately. Parents' attitude, or what they have in mind, is that it is for the betterment of the child's growth that I am doing this. Child may not understand that. It will think that, oh, my parents are punishing me, I didn't do anything wrong and all. But the parents know that they are doing it for the betterment of the child, for the benefit of the child. So at the first stage, our bandhus, our parents, the closest relative, on a broader scale, is Bhagavan, who is our bandhu, and not only for the entire world. So He is Loka Bandhu. And there is one more aspect which Adi Shankara touches upon. Lokanam bandhukrityam hita ahitopatesham Shruti Smriti Lakshanam Kritavan iti va Loka Bandhu. So that also is a very important aspect of this bandhu. Because a well-wisher, a bandhu, must always point out to us what is hita and what is ahita, what is beneficial, what is not beneficial. And Bhagavan, who has given us all these shastras in the form of Vedas and Smritis, in the form of Shruti, Smriti, etc., including the most revered and the popular Smriti, which is Bhagavad Gita, to guide us about what is good or bad for us as an individual, as a society. So Bhagavan becomes a real Loka Bandhu. He is the one of whom we need not be afraid at all. Because Bhagavan's order is infallible order. Once we understand how this entire thing works, how this order and the law of karma works, we will have continuous guidance of our Shastras with us. And we will never swerve away from that. Therefore, Bhagavan is always a friend who guides us, never an enemy. Loka Bandhu. Then Loka Nataha. Nataha means the Lord. Lokanatha means Lord of the universe. Lokaihi natyate yachyate lokanu anutapati ashaste lokanam ishta iti va lokanatha. The word Natha comes from the verbal root Nath. Nath means ruling, imploring, blessing, and it also got a totally opposite meaning, nearly opposite, called afflicting. So he is Lokanatha, the Lord of the world, because he is implored, looked upon to by people for gaining various purusharthas that they seek. As the Lord, again, he is the one who rules the world and takes care of everyone. He, as a karma phala data, he blesses them or afflicts people according to their karma phala. And as I said just now, the afflictions that he gives to people as their karma phala is also meant to make them understand, realize their mistakes which they have done in the past, the adharmic activities that they have done in the past. And this can only, this can actually give them an opportunity to turn them towards dharma. As I said, once you know that afflictions that I have is all because of my own karmas in the past, I have to lead the rest of this life, and maybe I have to take more lives after this life. So at least let me secure my future against all these afflictions, suffering, sorrow, grief, by doing what? By doing only dharmic karmas. I have now understood the connection between dharma, adharma, and also happiness and sufferings. So if I want happiness, I must follow a dharmic path. I must be dharmic in my conduct. So he is Lokanatha. All this Bhagavan is given us. It's all given to us. Whatever we have in our life is given to us by Bhagavan alone. Then next is Madhavaha. Here, Madhavaha also, we have seen an earlier meaning. Madhavaha means the Lord of Lakshmi. But here the different meaning is taken. The one born in the lineage of Madhu. Madhukule jatatvat Madhavaha. So as Sri Krishna, in the Krishna Avatara, Lord Vishnu was born in the lineage of Madhu. Hence he is Madhava. There was one more meaning I think we gave. Ma means Maya or Vidya. I think I remember one more meaning we gave, Madhava. So here the meaning Adi Shankara takes is the one, because Madhava occurs every time. We have to come up with a new meaning of that word. So here the meaning is the one who is born in the Madhukula is Madhava. Then Bhakta Vatsalaha, the one who is fond of the devotees. Bhakta Snehavan Bhakta Vatsalaha. Vatsala means fondness. Vatsalya. So the Lord is Bhakta Vatsala, one who is fond of his devotees. And here the fondness we can understand as caring. The Lord is in the very form of caring, and he has to be discovered in that form. Even when we look at our own body, with the various systems which are making this body function, everything is just going on automatically. When we look at that, we find that everything has been very caringly put together. In fact, spare parts are also provided by Bhagavan, and that shows the care of Bhagavan. We have 2 kidneys. So even if one kidney fails, the other kidney can be, one can survive with the other kidney. He has given on 2 eyes. Even if there's a problem with one eye, you can still carry out your ordinary activity with the other eye. 2 hands he has given. 2 legs he has given. So a lot of spare parts he has provided. And our internal organs also. The whole mechanism is such that if one part gets damaged, repairably damaged, then the cells grow on their own and that part again becomes alive. So just see the care with which everything in our whole body is planned. What it just shows, it just shows the care of Bhagavan. And that is Ishwarat's Vatsalya. Vatsalya. Caring nature. At the Adhyatma individual level. But then, if you look at the world, at the Adhibhuta level, the symbiotic existence of different species and different forces, we can see that everything is interconnected. The whole life cycle that we have studied in our school, in biology classes and all that, we find that this entire world is interconnected. There is dependency of one or the other for survival. The water cycle, if we actually study, again the same thing. Everything is there. Oceans are made for a purpose. Clouds are made for a purpose. So if we just go on thinking about all these things, both at the Adhyatma level and Adhibhuta level, we only see how caringly the Lord has put together all this entire universe, and at the individual and at the macro level. And he is doing all this for what? Because he is fond of his devotees. All this is done only for his devotees, not for people who are following adharmic activities. Every being, every human being is given an opportunity to use his or her free will to become a devotee. That is why at the beginning, at the birth itself, the Bhagavan gives all these things. That is his care. It's a different matter that some of us don't understand all these things and we take to adharmic ways. And then suffer and then curse Bhagavan. That's what we do. So that completes that sloka. Now we'll go to the next sloka. Suvarna Varno Hemango Varangas Chandanangadi Viraha Vishamashunyo Grita Shira Chalaschalaha. Again, this sloka has got 10 namas. We are in the 700 series of namas. Suvarna Varnaha, Hemangaha, Varangaha, Chandanangadi, Viraha, Vishamaha, Shunyaha, Gridashihi, Achalaha, Chalaha. 10 namas are there. Chalaha will be 746th nama when we come to that. Nearing 750. So Suvarna Varnaha, the one who is of the color of gold. Suvarnasyeva Varnaha Asyeti Suvarna Varnaha. Now what is it, this Varna we are talking about? The Lord is the form of self-shining consciousness. Now, what is the color of this consciousness? Really speaking, there is no color. What is the brilliance of the sun? What is the color of the brilliance of the sun? That also does not have any color. But still, for our understanding, to depict the brilliance, the Shruti talks of the Lord as having golden color, the color of the sun. Rukma Varnam, it says. Mundukopanishad says, Yada Pashyate Rukma Varnam. So the Shruti is giving a color, and that Shruti Vakya is brought here as Suvarna Varnaha, which is again describing the color of the Lord. As though, we must remember, as though golden. Doesn't really have any color. Hemangaha. Angaha means the limbs. Hema means again gold, the one whose limbs are like gold. Hema Eva Angam Asyeti Hemangaha. Again, Chandogya Upanishad Adi Shankara quotes, Ye Esho Nantaraditye Hiranmaya Purushaha Iti Shrutehe. So his color is gold. So obviously, when we are actually visualizing Bhagavan with Angas, then the Angas are also will be of gold only. So he is Hemanga because his Angas, the limbs are like gold. Everything that is here is his body, isn't it? Because the whole world we have seen, the Jagat is born out of Ishvara. Yatova imani bhutani jayante. He is in the form of all shining orbs, the orbs of the stars, the orbs of the sun. Anything that is brilliant, that is his Anga. Here again, this Hemanga is for visualization, when we visualize the Lord. Because when we sit for meditation, we need a form. You can't meditate on blankness. You will sleep. Sushupti Avastha you will reach if you meditate on blankness, and that too within very quick time. Therefore, we require a symbol. We require some alambanam for visualization, for meditation and visualization. So that is why his Lord is described in these various forms. So we can visualize. And there is another meaning which Puja Swamiji gives. And there, the word Hema has a meaning reference to Uma. And Uma means Maya. So Maya is a Anga or a part of him. So since Maya is united with him, he is Hemanga. Beautiful meaning Puja Swamiji gives. Which Adi Shankara doesn't give that. He is only restricting himself to the word Hema, which is gold. Whereas Puja Swamiji interprets Hema as Maya. And Maya is the Anga of Ishvara. He is Hemanga. Then Varanga. Varanga means the one with beautiful limbs. Varani, Shobhanani, Angani, Asyeti, Varanga. All his Angas, limbs are Vara, beautiful and proportionate. Hence he is Varanga. And we can immediately visualize the avatars as Rama, Sri Krishna and all. Very proportionate entire body, very attractive. Because anything which is proportionate will always captivate our minds. No human being, we can say, has got everything perfect. Whereas in his avatars, especially of Sri Rama and Sri Krishna, we find those forms are absolutely proportional, captivating. So he is Varanga. Then Chandanangadi. Chandana, as we know, means that sandalwood. Angadi means armlets. Chandanaihi, Ahladanaihi, Angadaihi, Keyuraihi, Bhushita iti Chandanangadi. Again, Rama, Krishna avatara can be brought into our mind. His arms are smeared with sandal paste, which are like his armlets. Or we can even take that armlets that are pleasing, the one which is wearing armlets. They are as pleasing like a sandal paste, because their armlets will be golden in color and sandal paste also is golden in color. So again, Rama, Krishna avatara is referred to here. Viraha, the one who kills the valiant enemies. Dharmatranaya Viran Asura Mukhyan Hanti iti Viraha. So, in order to protect Dharma, the one who kills all great Asuras, and these Asuras cannot be easily chastised, so they have to be killed. So he is Viraha. Again, this name is associated with the various avatars of Bhagavan Vishnu. In every avatara he takes to destroy the adharmis, the asuras, to protect dharma, to sustain dharma, to re-establish dharma. Then Vishamaha, again a beautiful meaning Shankara takes. Vishamaha means the one who has no equal. Samaha nasya vidyate sarva vilakshanatvat iti Vishamaha. Because he does not have a sama, equal, because he is one. We have already seen, ekaha. There is nothing second. No second thing be there. Therefore, he is Vishama. He is distinct from and unlike everything else. So, if you have to see how Bhagavan looks, he is only him like himself. Only Ishvara is all-knowing, all-powerful. Sarvanya, Sarvashaktiman, there is no one else. Therefore, there is no one equal to Ishvara. And Arjuna says in the Gita, Natvat samaha astya abhyadikaha kutonyaha. Who can possibly be greater than you, O Krishna? Arjuna says. So we'll stop here. Next nama is Shunyaha. We will take it in the next class. Okay. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम। श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you, Guruji. Namaskaram.
Thank you.
Namaskaram.
Thank you, Guruji. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Guruji.
Thank you.
Thank you, Guruji.
Safe journey back home.
Yeah, thank you. Next week we will connect from India.
Yeah. That's nice.
Thank you, Mama.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Hari Om.
Dhanyawadaha, Guruji.
Dhanyawadaha. Thank you.
Wishing you safe journey back.
Thank you. Hari Om. Yes, Arun Kumar ji.
Namaste, namaste, Guruji.
Namaste.
Just a thought just crossed my mind. In the entire Vishnu Sahasranamam, all the namas are referring to the human form only. But are they referring to the earlier avatars, including Narasimha Avatara and earlier also? Or
We saw
even though that
Narasimha.
also,
Yeah. Vamana, we saw Narasimha, we saw all those names we already seen. I mean, all avatars are referred to rather. Yeah. Some we have seen, some may come also in future. Yeah. All avatars, Dashavataras referred there. Yeah. Only Kalki is not referred because that avatar is not taken place. I think so. I can't be very sure. So that is that. Any other question?
thank you.
Namaste, Guruji.
Namaste.
I can't say it's a question. This Bhaktavatsalaha, the name is fond of his devotees and he cares for his devotees and all that. But then we also hear that God is impartial and then he loves everyone equally.
Yeah.
So what is the...
Why do you think he doesn't love everybody equally?
Sorry?
Why do you think, why do you have a doubt that he doesn't love everyone equally?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, when we see a whole community or a whole nation suffering in poverty and lots of tribulations, age after age, and starvation, the basic necessity of any creature or a human being, even the food, even they're deprived of even that. So,
How, of course, I'll ask a personal question. How many children you have?
one.
Only one? Okay. That's why you got this doubt. If you have 2-3 children, one child may be doing very well in its life, another child may be undergoing lot of suffering. But as parents are concerned, their love or their caring for all their children will always be same. Everybody undergoes suffering and whatever it is, poverty or anything, their own doing. It is not God which is doing that. If you study well, you will get good marks, correct? If you don't study, you cannot expect the teacher to award you extra marks. So whatever karmas that we have done, whether as an individual, because when we talk about karmas, we must understand so many things about law of karma also. There is an individual karma, then there is a samashti karma. There are so many, it goes into a lot of things. So if there is a samashti karma, especially in some countries rather, for example, today what Sri Lanka is facing is a samashti karma of that land. The land has also got certain karmas. And what happens is that becomes a collateral damage for the people who are there. So when we talk of karmas, it is not a very straightforward, simple equation like a plus b whole square is equal to a square b square plus 2ab plus b square. It's not that simple. Karma is very complicated. So there is samashti karma, there is vyashti karma. That's why when tsunami comes, one entire village or one entire town is actually, completely gone. Does it mean that everybody in that place had the same karma? The answer will be no. But they happen to be at a place where their karma, the samashti karma brought all these sufferings on them. So at the individual level, it is our individual karmas. Because you just see, we have seen those examples. Suppose there is a prediction of a tsunami. People will be told, a tsunami is expected in the next 36 hours. So all of you vacate your place, evacuate and go to safe places. I can bet you, unless they are forced, many people will not move. They won't even believe that there is going to be tsunami that is going to affect them.
Yeah.
They fail to exercise their free will at that particular point. Then they will have to suffer the consequences of that. So if we think about it, God, from a God's point of view, He is not doing anything. He is just handing out the karma phalas to everybody like a judge in a top court, Supreme Court judge. Does he have any bias against any criminal or anything? One case is brought before him. Both these defendant and the people who are prosecuting are equal so far as the judge is concerned. He will very lovingly, with lot of care, hear both the sides of argument. He is not going to say, no, I will not allow you to argue, only this fellow I will argue. He is never going to say. After arguing everything, what he will do, he will look at the law book and see, okay, whose side is better, I will give the judgment in his favor. That does not mean he is favoring the accused. As per what the law and order of that constitution of that particular place is, he will give the judgment. That does not make the judge any less Bhakta Vatsala or lawyer Vatsala here, isn't it?
Yeah, I think I must have heard it wrong when you were explaining the meaning of Bhakta Vatsala, that he's caring and thing for his those devotees, and then not the Papa Karmis. So
yes.
I think I got it wrong.
I don't know. I said that all this Bhagavan does at the individual level for whom? Now let us understand. Why does Bhagavan give suffering to people based upon their own past karmas? Why do we do that? I gave the example of we punishing a child, our child. Why do we do that? It is for the betterment of the child. It is not to punish the child or cause pain and suffering for the child. Yeah. And that punishment could be anything rather. It could be even, of course, in India, I'm not talking about here, beating the child, starving the child, not allowing the child to watch TV or do whatever it wants to do. But it's all for what? For the betterment of the child, because the child does not know what is better for me. So we do that. Bhagavan at a grand scale does it for the whole world is Bhagavan's children. So he does it for everybody. And the punishment which is given is for the child's own act. It is not that, a parent, a father will get up or a mother will get up in the morning and call the child, I'm going to punish you today. For what the child doesn't know, isn't it? So there is a reason. You told, you did this, so you deserve punishment. Like that. So Bhagavan also does that. Yeah?
Yes, Guruji. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Sulekha ji.
Namaste, Guruji.
Namaste.
My question is regarding the example you gave today of the pot and the clay, and the formless being the clay itself, and the pot as the example of what is manifested. Is this a correct understanding?
Correct understanding. Because one can argue even clay as a form, right? But it is only an analogy rather. So if you imagine Brahman to be clay, all these pot, etc. are manifestations of that clay. And the example is that They are born out of the clay, they are sustained by clay, and they will go back unto the clay. So we have to understand, because Brahman we cannot experience, we cannot see Brahman. So Shastra uses this example to explain the concept to us what exactly it is. Yeah, you
Right.
understand?
Thank you.
Correct. Yeah. Hari
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Hari Om, Guruji.
Hari
Thank
Om.
you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Guruji. Safe flight back home.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Om.
So we will catch up next week. Hari Om. Thank you.
Hari Om Guru.
Hari Om, Guruji. Thank you.
Thank you.